So everything we just did was all static. We're not moving. Nothing we did was inducing movement at all in terms of our feet and moving our body around. That was all getting familiar with the operation of the pistol and getting the gun into play, right? Those just making sure we have the good fundamentals down. Once you get the fundamentals down, you apply those fundamentals. Now we're going to add a layer of complexity to it by adding a task, and that task is going to be movement. So we're going to jump into some different types of movement, some barricades, taking a knee, facing movements, that sort of thing. So that's coming up next. All right, so we're going to talk now about facing movements. Facing movements is an Army term, it's a marching term, right? And all it is turning left, turning right, or turning around completely. So we're going to do 90-degree facing movements. So I'm facing this direction. This is my direction of travel. My threat is going to be on my left-hand side. There's a couple different ways that people teach this. We're going to show you the way that we think works the best. Goes by our will it work, is it necessary, and can I do it under stress rule. Here's how we see it. So my threat's going to come from the left side. The first thing that's got to move is my head, because I've got to find it with my face in order to be able to drive the gun to it, right? So as a threat comes from the left, I'm going to turn my head. I turn my head, and then I'm going to step into the threat. I'm not going to step back with this foot, because that's stepping into the unknown. I don't know what's behind me back there, right? And there's another reason why we don't do that, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But we're not going to step back like this to get to it. What we're going to do is we're going to turn into it, present the plate, present our face to it. And it's going to be just a simple movement, pivoting on the left foot, bringing the right foot around to here. Boom. And that's it. That's a left face movement right there. So if I get my draw time normally in 1.5 seconds, that's my draw time. Let's just say by par is 1.5 seconds. Every movement that we add to it, this 90-degree turn here, we're going to add 1/4 second to that. So now I'm going to tell myself I need to get that whole thing done in 1.75 or less. No more than 1.75, because that's adding 1/4 to my 1.5 second draw time. Okay, so we're going to shoot the center plate. We're at 21 feet. Going to hit the buzzer, and we're just going to see what it is. Just an easy, relaxed time. .55, right? So we'll do it again. We want it to be 1.75 or less. Turn the head. .63. We're not pushing it. I'm not pushing. This is just relax. That's 1.6. 1.75 is all day. So now that's left face. Now we're talking about right face. Same thing, right? I'm going to turn into the target. The first thing that's going to move is going to be my head. I turn, and I'm pivoting on the threat leg. I'm pivoting on the leg that's closest to the threat, and I'm just going to pivot and turn into the threat on that side too. Nothing's changing. .53. .41. So that's getting right face and left face, right? I'm moving this direction. Something picked up my eye and have to get into it and go that direction to get on it. Now, why do we not step back? Here's the reason. I want you to imagine this is a very tiny passageway, a hallway, let's say. Think about a trailer park hallway, how they're, I don't know, that wide maybe. And I'm moving down the hallway and I've got a guy behind me. And our objective is at the end of the hall, I pick up something off to the right and I have to address that thing. If I'm moving down the hall and I stop and address it like this guy's going to run right into me. He's going to run, I'm going to block his path. But if he's coming behind me and I see it, and I step into the threat, I've cleared the passageway and the train keeps moving and I'm addressing the problem. So I'm offline is what I'm getting at. That allows me to get in, that allows them to get the work done, allows me to take care of a problem over here. And it's also just a faster, more efficient way to address a problem turning into it. So that's right face and left face. Now we're going to do 180 degrees. 180 degrees, again, I've got to go this way to get that threat back there. There's a number of different ways people will teach to do this, and they'll teach a two-step, three-step maneuver down here, where you're back here, you do this, and you're doing this. We're not going to do that. We're going to pivot on the foot, and it's going to be as simple as this. Head turns. Again, that was 154. By the way, we've added another 90 degrees to it, right? The first 90 degrees, we added a quarter of a second. You add another 90 degrees in your movement, that adds another quarter of a second. So that really should take my total time from time the threat is picked up to the shot breaks at 2 seconds, if I have a 1.5 second draw. That took place in 1.54. Let's do it again. Threat's behind me. .64. .52. So that's facing movements, left, right face, 180 degrees. But you have to have those fundamentals. Once you get the fundamentals down, of the 7 fundamentals of marksmanship, then you can start to do things like that, adding movement to it. But you have to have those fundamentals down. You have to have trigger control and all of that down before you can start doing this.